to get your fix.
Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here, and welcome to the show on this beautiful Monday, May 2nd, 2022, and welcome to the show, whether that's on Facebook or on a YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit the like and the share. If you're on YouTube, hey, hit the subscribe. It'd be much, much appreciated. So it's been quite a while since we've dabbled in the show, the daily show that's Monday through Fridays at 6 p.m. It was last Thursday when we had the draft coverage on the Get Your Fix with the Wicks. We talked about the picks as they were coming and going. About halfway through, well, listen, didn't know a lot of these people, didn't know who they were, but we seen dreams come true, tears be shed, and potentially superstars be coming in the making or come in the making. I don't know how you want to put that, but we got to see a lot of stuff. We played some PFL. We had a great time, Paper Football League. That was interesting to say the least. We realized we screwed up on one game. Okay, the score was supposed to be one thing and it was not. So then I had to do run it back basically, in which the fixtures got their fix and we lost. So, but anyways, today we're going to talk about that draft. Not about the players, so to say, but the 2022 NFL draft grades are officially in. We'll be reading off the grades from NFL or from the NFL.com draft analyst Chad Reuter, I believe is how you say his name. So this guy works for the NFL or NFL.com, puts up the draft grades and how he thinks or what he thinks the grade for those teams are. We'll dive into those briefly. We'll talk about the Falcons releasing running back Mike Davis and why I kind of had a feeling this would be the case. Also, safety Tyrann Mathieu is no longer a free agent. Which team did he go to? Well, we'll find out in just a couple minutes. Washington signs a veteran guard who's been in the league for quite some time, played with the Chargers, and last year played with, I believe, no, he played with the Carolina Panthers, then he played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now he's on the way to the Commanders. And last but not least, DeAndre Hopkins missing the first 6 games of this season. Why is that? Well, we'll get to that towards the end of the show. So with that being said, are you ready to get your fix? So with the 2022 NFL draft grades coming out, I think it's a good time because obviously the draft was Thursday, which is the first round. The second and third rounds took place on Friday. We did not do the show Friday. We were busy. We were doing things. We were hunting. We were having fun. Saturday was also the last day of the draft, rounds 4 through 7, in which picks come quite quickly. Okay, they know who they're going to take because they just basically plug and place the next best option on their draft board. At least that's what it seems like. You'll mix in a punter or a kicker here and there. But then we had a break. Little time to digest what the hell just actually happened, you know, with all the trades that were made and the picks that were selected. Well, these draft grades are quite interesting. Now, I've seen multiple posts of draft grades, and a couple of them, I mean, they're all basically different. Some of them are the same. This one, I think, gives a lot of leniency to a lot of teams, but that's what we're here to dive into. We'll talk about them, give you my opinions on if they deserve that grade or not. So to do so, let's kind of go off the bat. We'll read off the ones that I'm not going to go too in depth in, and then the ones I'm going to go in depth in, we'll talk about. So first we have the Atlanta Falcons getting a B+. Probably should have got a C, okay? The Buffalo Bills got an A. Really all they needed to do this draft was kind of plug and place. Let's get somebody to fill a hole within our offense or our defense that's going to come in day one and be ready to shine. All right, they did get Kaiir Elam from Florida who said, hey, I'd love to be a Buffalo Bill. Actually gave the GM and the owner his notes from which he was taking notes his entire college career on things that his team could have done better, on the things that he could have improved on during those games, on the things that the wide receivers did that kind of made him realize that, oh shit, like I'm not really good at this right now. We got to fix that. We got to fine tune that. And that seemed to intrigue the Bills quite a bit, in which, well, they decided to trade up and select Kaiir Elam. And as soon as that was said and done, on the phone call, he was crying with his family, and he said, hey, put that playbook on the plane. Okay, we need that. So the Bills got a dog, hopefully, and I think the Bills are headed in the right direction. Obviously, with the recent signing of Von Miller, they extended Stephon Diggs, they extended Josh Allen. I mean, that team is ready to rock and roll. 0 Pro Bowlers on that team just a year ago. Does that change? I'd hope so. Okay, they were a phenomenal team last year. They were phenomenal to watch and all the above. So the Carolina Panthers got an A- grade for their draft class. They didn't really get a quarterback. Well, they did. I believe they got Matt Corral as a quarterback. So him and Sam Darnold will most likely battle it out to see who is going to be the starter come opening day. Come regular season. Honestly, in my opinion, probably going to be Sam Darnold yet again, which stinks for the Carolina Panthers, but hey, that's okay for the rest of the NFC. The Chicago Bears got an A- as well. Probably should have got a C, okay? They really didn't get anybody too high caliber. They didn't really shock anybody. They didn't get a dog. They just got a couple of guys that, hey, you might be a depth chart player. You might make the practice squad. You might make the 53-man roster, but you're probably going to be down there in like second string, third string type of players. The Cincinnati Bengals got an A-, same thing here. Probably a C I'd give them, or a D. Didn't get too many really like high-known names, but that's what the draft's about, right? Drafting these players that nobody has a clue who the fuck they are or what they can do on the football field. And as soon as they make their appearance on that football field and they start turning heads, everyone's like, oh, I knew he was going to be a dog. This guy, I knew he was going to make noise over here for us, our team, make us that much better, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, pal. No, you did not, because when it was draft day, you had no clue who this was, but you never know. Okay, the Bengals got an A-. The Cleveland Browns got a B, so I think that's pretty decent for them. The Dallas Cowboys got a B. The Denver Broncos got an A. Probably should have gave them a B-, C+, whatever the case may be. Again, one of those same situations where they didn't really get a lot of guys, okay? I mean, obviously with the recent acquisition of Russell Wilson, that helped their team out immensely. They re-signed Melvin Gordon. Now he is with Javonte Williams in that backfield. Their wide receiver core is young, poised to make a run. It's going to be interesting to see what the Denver Broncos bring to the National Football League next year, or this season. Houston Texans, they ended up getting a B as well. Okay, they get Derek Stingley Jr. with the 3rd overall pick. When that happened, I knew instantly that Ahmad Sauce Gardner was going to end up a Jet, even though that was going to be the case anyways. That was a massive acquisition by them. I believe they also got Evan Neal. No, excuse me, that is not. Ikem Ekwonu probably, or something like, I can't remember. It's been a couple days. The Indianapolis Colts got a C. Perfect grade. Really didn't get any guys that, you know off the bat they're going to be dogs, okay? That just, it's the way it is what it is. They didn't have a first-round draft pick either. The Jacksonville Jaguars ended up getting a B+. So that's interesting to say the least. The Las Vegas Raiders got an A-. Probably shouldn't have. They really didn't help out their team that massively. Especially with, obviously they didn't need a wide receiver with the recent acquisition of Devontae Adams. The running back position's just fine with Josh Jacobs. Hopefully he can get on a roll. They didn't need a quarterback. Offensive line could have helped probably a little bit. They just really need to get defensive players, and that's what they did. The Los Angeles Rams got an A, I believe, as well. So, yeah, and the Chargers also got an A. So good for them. Probably shouldn't have, but it is what it is. The Miami Dolphins got a B. Again, probably put them in that C range. I don't think they really upgraded too heavily. The Minnesota Vikings. We got an A minus. Okay, that's good. It's good. But probably should be a fucking B minus, C plus, because when you own the 12th overall pick, and there are dogs still at that number 12 overall pick, and you decide that it'd be the best interest of the organization to trade out of it, trade back specifically 20 positions to pick number 32, kind of makes you wonder. But hey, I'm okay with the pick right now. That whole night just kind of threw me for a loop. As soon as that happened, I was kind of pissed off because we traded to the Detroit Lions. And what do the Detroit Lions do? Well, they get instantly better at the wide receiver position and add a weapon of the Alabama prospect, wide receiver, Jamison Williams, who the Vikes could have had. Okay? Could have had George Karl Laftis. Could have had Jermaine Johnson. We could have had a lot of people. But we decided to trade back. We ended up getting Lewis Cine. This guy, after seeing some highlights and watching some film on him, sledgehammer, baby. I'm so pumped to see him play alongside Harry the Hitman Smith. It's going to be awesome. We got two firecrackers back there in the secondary to keep our corners and our linebackers kind of in line. Like, hey, we're out here hitting dudes, causing fumbles, maybe picking a ball off or two. You guys got to pull your weight. All right, let's figure it out just a little bit, can we? So I'm pumped for that pick. Let me get Andrew Booth Jr. Awesome. Okay, we needed to upgrade at the cornerback position because I've had it with Cam Dantzler, even though he might have been like the highest rated or best rated corner in the National Football League by PFF for some time or something like that. He wasn't. Okay, lets up way too many deep balls, and specifically, he just can't stop the deep route, all right? He can't flip his hips quick enough. He can't get down the field. It is what it is, but I don't want to see him on the football field that much anymore, okay? With him, Andrew Booth Jr., and Patrick Peterson there, it's going to be interesting to see how Patrick kind of leads him in the right direction, hopefully, and see how he becomes or what his growth is throughout the year and if he's actually going to be a stud or not. So we also had multiple picks after that where I thought, okay, we upgraded, we did a good job. The Vikings overall, I think, helped their defense out, which was a massive thing that we've all talked about, or at least I've talked about last year, where we need to pick it up, okay? We can score points. We're good at doing so, okay? We were one of the higher-rated offensive teams in the National Football League last year, so we just have to figure it out defensively, and I think that's what this draft was all about, getting those defensive dudes, not so much planning for the future on the offensive side of things. So pumped for that draft for the Minnesota Vikings, even though at first it seemed like, well, what the fuck are we doing, okay? Then the New England Patriots, C+, but with big old Bill Belichick over there, GM, scout, head coach. The man is a genius. He's going to find a couple diamond in the roughs, all right? It's just how it's going to be. But at first glance, at first look, C+, good decision. New York Giants get an A-, and they should. They get Evan Neal. They get Kayvon Thibodeau. These guys are ready to rock and roll. The city of New York is ready to rock and roll. Even though they play in Jersey, okay? They play in New Jersey, but hey, we ain't talking about that, I guess, because nobody cares, okay? They're the New York Giants, the New York Jets, even though they should be the New Jersey Giants and the New Jersey Titans. But hey, it is what it is. Those teams were created way back in the day, so you can't do anything about it. Speaking of the Jets, they got an A, and they definitely deserve it. 3 first-round draft picks, Jermaine Johnson, Garrett Wilson, and Ahmad Sauce Gardner out of the University of Cincinnati. They had massive upgrades this draft, and hopefully they make some noise. They get Zach Wilson a weapon at wide receiver, and Garrett Wilson, who's about a 4.35 runner, 4.4 runner. Game speed could be a little quicker, could be a little slower. You never know. His route running is just fine. He goes up and gets balls. He makes defenders miss. I'm excited to see what kind of attitude and what kind of I don't want to say it like aura he brings around that locker room and that organization. The Philadelphia Eagles. Well, we'll skip them for a sec. The Pittsburgh Steelers, nope. The San Francisco 49ers got a B-. The Seattle Seahawks got a C+, because they didn't get too many good guys. Okay, they're rebuilding, not in a good way. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers got an A. So those are those teams. Let's talk about the other ones that I kind of think we should dive into. First being the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals received an A- draft day grade. Now, during the draft, during the first round, they ended up trading for Baltimore receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown. This is a massive upgrade at the wide receiver position. They lose Christian Kirk. They re-sign A.J. Green, but they also, unfortunately, have lost DeAndre Hopkins to 6 games to start the season. He also missed 5 of the last games last year, 4 regular season games, 1 playoff game. And now he misses the first 6 games. Why? Well, he violated the National Football League's performance-enhancing drug policy. So he was taking PEDs, getting better, probably trying to get healthier. And, well, when he took that drug test, he forgot, oh, shit, I'm trying to get my body in the right motion in the right way. So it is what it is. He was going to appeal it. He, since then, basically pulled that appeal away real quick because he probably realized it ain't worth my time, my energy. We'll take the 6 games and we'll run with it, because they got Marquise Hollywood Brown in a trade. During this draft, they ended up getting tight end Trey McBride, defensive end Cameron Thomas, running back Keontae Ingram. I mean, really, that's basically all you need to know. An A- grade for this probably is not the greatest thing in the world, I think, in my opinion, because they have Zach Ertz, they have Max Williams, and they get another tight end in Trey McBride. Something doesn't seem right in that. With the A- grade, probably give them like a B-. I think that would be a better kind of area to walk into. The Baltimore Ravens continue to nail the draft year after year after year. Okay, they get an A, I believe. Yes, they get an A draft grade, and they should. Okay, they land Kyle Hamilton with the 14th pick. Wicks could have fucking had him, but what do I know? Then after they get Kyle Hamilton, they get Iowa's center Tyler Linderbaum, who is said to be the best offensive lineman coming into this year's draft. You can plug and place him in any position on the offensive line. Main position is going to be center. But with Marshall Yanda retiring, you have to expect that he might have to take a lot of the reps, snaps. He's going to be an instant starter for that organization. Then they go out and they get, obviously, Michigan outside linebacker David Ojabo. Okay? Going to be a dude. Going to be a fun time to watch. The rest of these picks, hopefully they pan out. And shout out to Minnesota. Daniel Falele, tackle from Minnesota, goes to Baltimore during this draft as well. So that's huge for the University of Minnesota. Next but not least, the Detroit Lions get Jamison Williams. Okay, a massive upgrade for them. They ended up getting a B+. They obviously get Aiden Hutchinson with the 2nd overall pick in the draft. Clear-cut guy that's going to make the NFL, going to start in the NFL for many, many years. Who knows? He still could be a bust. Okay, that's a very real possibility. But I think the overall consensus is that this guy's going to be here for quite some time, and he's going to be a dog. Okay. Then they go out, they trade up with the Minnesota Vikings. They trade pick 32, 34, and I believe 66 to land wide receiver Jamison Williams from the University of Alabama. Then they go out and they kind of hit every other position that they think they need to fill for their depth chart and potentially practice squad and all that fun stuff. So they end up getting a B+. The Green Bay Packers. Well, many people were thinking, hey, get a weapon. Get Aaron Rodgers a weapon. You just lost Devontae Adams. What are we doing? Okay, let's figure this out. Well, they figured it out. Okay, they waited till day 2 to do so. But in the first round, they end up getting linebacker from Georgia, Quay Walker, and defensive lineman from Georgia, Devontae Wyatt. Massive upgrades for their defense. It's going to be fun to watch those two fly around. They're the first pair from the same team, I think, first pair from a defense on the same college team to get drafted in the National Football League since, can't remember who it was, but it's happened one time before, long time ago, okay, but they become the second basically to do so. And in the second round, they get Rodgers a weapon. They get Christian Watson, wide receiver from North Dakota State University, the Bison up there. Hey, okay, fuck the Bison. Okay, go big, go blue, go Jacks. All right, that's what I'm kind of, rolling that train with. Okay, but Christian Watson stays in the green and gold. Now he's on his way to Green Bay. They then go on to get a center, another wide receiver in Romeo Doubs from Nevada. And yeah, basically is what they did this draft. The Chiefs end up getting an A for their draft day. They end up getting Trent McDuffie, in which the Vikes could have got. They get Sky Moore, wide receiver, George Karlaftis for their edge rusher. They get a couple other guys too. So, hey, good for the Chiefs. The Saints get a C+. And, well, they deserve it, okay? They got one good name, but I think out of the other ones that we've seen, like B's and A's, that really didn't get any good names, it's like, okay, well, these probably should have been flip-flopped. They got Chris Olave, Then they go out and they get Trevor Penning from University of Northern Iowa, and then Antoine Taylor from Tennessee, who is a cornerback. They get a C+. The Jets get an A, okay? We talked about it. Ahmad Sauce Gardner at pick number 4, Garrett Wilson at pick number 10, and then Jermaine Johnson the second with pick number 26. They end up getting a running back in Breece Hall from the Iowa State. You get a tight end, Jeremy Ruckert from Ohio State. Get offensive lineman Max Mitchell from Louisiana. And last but not least, Michael Clemens, defensive lineman from Texas A&M. They have a massive upgrade. This is a young team, okay? Historically have never been good. They're trying to change the pace of, or change the outcome of history and change what the future looks like in that organization. And I'm pumped to see what the Jets bring to the table next season. Philadelphia Eagles, okay, they get an A as well. They get defensive tackle Jordan Davis. You pair him with Fletcher Cox. Good luck running the ball, okay? Jordan Davis is like 6'5", 6'6", 370 pounds, whatever the case may be. Absolute wrecking ball at the defensive tackle position. You get another wrecking ball right beside him, Fletcher Cox. You ain't running up the middle, okay? At least it's going to be very, very tough to do so. And then the surprise of the night, the surprise of the draft, in my opinion, a linebacker from Georgia, who probably should have went a lot sooner than he did. He fell to the third round. I was thinking late first round, early second round, this man was going to go out because he's a leader, he's a dog, he's a Georgia Bulldog. Nakobe Dean falls to the Philadelphia Eagles in the third round, okay? They also, in the second round, get Cam Jurgens, who's a center, so good for them. The Pittsburgh Steelers get an A-. They take the first quarterback off the draft board. And what better to make it the, University of Pittsburgh quarterback Kenny Pickett. I mean, he stays in Pittsburgh. He's played in that weather. They shared a training facility, so Mike Tomlin, Art Rooney, the whatever it is, got to see him on a day-to-day basis. They seen how he works, what his motor is, his work ethic. Can he throw the ball? Yes. Can he run the ball? Probably. Is he a guy? Probably. He now is going to put up a fight for the starting quarterback job against Mitchell Trubisky, which was once said to be Mitchburg. Well, might be Pickettburg. Okay, it might be Kenny Pickett's time to shine for for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They end up getting wide receiver George Pickens to pair with Deontay Johnson, James Washington, and Chase Claypool. Massive, massive moves there. You get Calvin Austin III, another wide receiver. They get Cameron Hayward's brother, who plays tight end, Connor Hayward, so that is huge. Pretty good draft out of the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion. The Tennessee Titans get an A as well. They not only trade away A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles, who are going to have massive amounts of success now, I think. Well, not massive amounts, but some success. with A.J. Brown over there with a young quarterback and Jalen Hurts, and they've had a problem at wide receiver for quite some time. So once they do that, well, they not only pick up a wide receiver, okay, they can pick up a wide receiver that he was compared to A.J. Brown. He's said to be the next A.J. Brown type of guy. Wide receiver from Arkansas, Treylon Burks goes right away to him. Then they end up getting Roger McCreary, DB from Auburn, Nicholas Petit-Freer from Ohio State, offensive lineman. And the interesting one, they take quarterback from Liberty, Malik Willis. Does this mean they're planning for the future? Probably. That's a good assumption, I would say, because Ryan Tannehill is going to still be the one slinging the rock. And Malik Willis can come in there and in Wildcat situations. We'll see him in preseason. I think in the future, it's going to look bright over there, especially when Ryan Tannehill decides to call it quits or ends up getting traded or cut or released or whatever the case may be. Malik Willis might be the next man up. And last but not least, the Washington Commanders, who got a B draft grade. They had an okay day. Not the greatest day. They get wide receiver Jahan Dotson, D-tackle Fedarian Mathis, running back Brian Robinson Jr., Percy Butler, who's a safety. They didn't really do all that well. Probably should have gave him a C. So with that being said, enough of the draft. Let's go with the news. We already talked about DeAndre Hopkins getting suspended for the first 6 games of this season because he violated the NFL's performance-enhancing drug policy. I'd have to assume that's to get back from injury a little quicker and get ready to rock and roll for training camp. But the Falcons decided to release running back Mike Davis. Okay? Good. In my opinion, good. Just holding it back. Yeah, he's a bowling ball. He's not a starting running back at all in the National Football League. I went and looked at his stats, okay? He had his best year, not last year, but a year before that in Carolina because old Christian McCaffrey was, well, would you know it, hurt. So Mike Davis had to step up, and he did so. But it was his best year. And he only had 642 yards, 6 touchdowns. That was his best season of his career. Then last year, I guess you can add to that year, he had also had 373 yards receiving and 2 receiving touchdowns. But last year with Atlanta, 503 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 259 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Why? Well, because Atlanta quickly figured out that Cordero Patterson is a starter, is our starter. Mike Davis is just kind of that filler. Hey, we're going to send you in on 3rd downs. It's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. You get that 1st down. That's all we need you for. Mike Davis can bring a lot of upside to teams. He can help you out tremendously in the 3rd down aspect, the 4th down aspect, whatever you need him to do. But he's not a clear-cut starter in the National Football League. Falcons knew they needed to get rid of him. In doing so, they clear $2.5 million against the cap. Washington is also signing guard Trey Turner, played with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, and before that he played with the Carolina Panthers. He goes to the Washington Commanders, in which he has already played under Ron Rivera when he was a Carolina Panther. They signed him to a 1-year, $3 million deal. And last but not least, the moment we've been waiting for quite some time, safety Tyrann Mathieu is no longer a free agent. Just a couple weeks ago, he was on a visit to the New Orleans Saints, was there to do something with the LSU Tigers, so he visited the Saints. He came out after that and said, hey, listen, okay, I don't know if they really need me at all, but if they want me, that would be cool, okay? And then he goes, has a Zoom meeting or a Zoom call with the Philadelphia Eagles to see if that might be a potential fit. In the end, after the draft was all said and done, the New Orleans Saints decide to pick up safety Tyrann Mathieu to replace the absence of Marcus Williams, who is now a Baltimore Raven. They had a hole there. They knew they needed to fill it. And what do? They get one of the best safeties in the National Football League in the Honey Badger. They signed him to a massive 3-year, $33 million deal with $18 million guaranteed. I'm pumped for it. Congratulations to the Honey Badger. I wanted him to be a Vike, but I'm okay with Lewis Seen and Harry the Hitman Smith and Andrew Booth Jr. We're ready to rock. We're ready to roll. This 2022 NFL season is going to be exciting. I cannot wait. I'm pumped for it. Football for the next at least month and a half is going to be kind of slow. So hopefully things happen. Things start picking up. Still wide receivers to be signed that are free agents. Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Julio Jones. Quarterbacks still in the market that could potentially get signed. I mean, people still are out there. Okay, so news is going to happen. It's going to come quickly. It's going to punch us in the mouth, and we cannot wait for that to happen. With that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching the show, whether that's on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit the like and the share. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. So with that being said, we will not be doing the show tomorrow, as I will be leaving to go to Tennessee, down to Nashville, Tennessee. You know, yeehaw! It's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a rainy week, but it's okay. We'll make the most of it. We'll make the best of it. I'm excited to do so. It's going to be a long drive, 12 and a half hours, potentially add an hour to that, maybe an hour and a half to that. So probably like 14 hours total. I'll be on the road. We will not do the show. However, if we have time, if we figure out how to work it, we will be doing the show Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from a hotel down there. And, well, we'll try to do everything in our power to make that happen. We all know how internet down in hotels are not the greatest. But we'll try our best. We'll see if it works. If it not, we'll continuously update you guys with the videos and have fun and content. I cannot wait for this trip. It's going to be great. So if all is not said and done, I'll let you guys know if the show is happening or not. With that being said, have a great rest of your day. Have a great tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. We'll be back Wednesday, hopefully, at 6 p.m., or we'll figure out a time that works best for us to get it done. So with that being said, have a great rest of your day tomorrow and potentially the week. We'll see you Wednesday. Have a great one. And you just got your fix with the Wicks. Deuces, folks.